Hey everybody, just working on comments here. It's early morning. I'm just in a solarium with my coffee, and I've got a lot of comments on here that I don't know if I can respond to all of them in a timely manner. So I thought, well, it might be quicker just to put a quick video out, and I can get all of these answered right away. So think of it sort of as a catch-up comment response. And by the way, for everybody who has written a comment, said something nice, maybe not so nice, very few of those, but just sort of contributed to the community that's kind of building, and we're building quite quickly. I really appreciate it. It's really, really nice to see these comments come through. I try to get to every single one of them. It takes a little bit of time. I just find, you know, an hour here or half an hour there, and I'll just quickly tap them out on my phone, or here I am early morning. Got Zeus under the table. Seems he's moved from behind me. But anyways, thank you very much to everybody who's been writing stuff, and all the encouragement and all the nice words. I really appreciate it. So thank you. Anyway, so a lot of comments. I'm just going to work down the list for right now really quickly. One of the questions was how many degrees Fahrenheit hot? I've been complaining a lot about that it's been hot, and it has been hot. We have heat warnings on the weather thing that we check out online, and so to us it's kind of hot. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. I don't know, let's find out. Google Fahrenheit to Celsius to Fahrenheit. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Convert 30 Celsius. 86 Fahrenheit. Really? It seems like it should be higher. Everybody complains it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Anyways, when we get up to about 30 or so here, maybe 35. What's 35? 95? Okay. So, yeah. I mean, when you're out in the dead heat in the arena and it's pretty hot and you're working on stuff, it's pretty, yeah. You get hot. Humidity is kind of low. We don't have a lot of humidity in the air right now. I've been in some pretty humid locations myself. When I was in Japan for a while, it was smoking. You didn't even want to go outside. You can't barely breathe half the time. Here it's not. It's actually quite dry, relatively dry, I would say. So not a lot of humidity. Anyhow, so anywhere between 25 and 35 degrees right now. I think it's close to 20, and it's early morning. It's quite comfortable, actually. If it would just stay this temperature, I'd be happy, but it won't. Somebody says, John says, I really enjoy your videos. Just started watching them recently. What state are you in? I'm not in any state, actually. It turns out somebody's already responded. We are just outside of Vancouver in a city called Maple Ridge, and in British Columbia in Canada. Maple Ridge is a small city. It's not very big, and it's probably about maybe 45 minutes east of Vancouver. Major horse country. There's a couple other cities around here that are also major horse countries, or cities. And country, I mean by like the country land, I guess. And so we're kind of in the middle of that. A little further east is Mission. Lots of horses out in pastures and stuff that way. If you head south, you head over to Langley and Aldergrove. Those are other very common places to find a pile of horses kicking around. And then go that way, there's Pitt Meadows. And then, yeah, there's a couple others, but head even further east, it's even more. Get out to, there's Cloverdale, that's sort of, anyways, lots and lots of horses. Chilliwack's a big one. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's where we are, Maple Ridge. Somebody asked me about all the bumps that are on baby Gracie, and man, we have a lot of mosquitoes. All of the horses kind of get picked on. Baby Gracie sort of lived her life near the ocean, so she doesn't have I would call a good immunity to these things, and so she'll be affected for probably the next year or two. I would not be surprised if she ended up being one of those candidates for sweet itch. I hope not. Luke has that, as anybody has maybe noticed. supposedly only affects 10% of horses that are out there. So anyhow, so all the little bumps are just mosquito bites, and then she sort of scratches on them and stuff like that. But I expect those will be totally gone, because when she arrived here, she had a bit of a skin issue from some allergy to some bedding. We don't use bedding here, so that's not an issue. But when the mosquitoes started coming out, her skin started to break out a little bit more again, and so she's just quite sensitive. When the mosquitoes go away, I expect everything to just resolve itself again. Let's see. Oh, a question about leading and driving. I don't know if it's a question, but I pointed out going over top of the bridge. If you haven't seen the bridge video, I'll link it below. Hopefully I remember. And the question between leading and driving. Leading a horse, you're essentially kind of pulling them along, or just having them come along with you. You are ahead of them, and they are following you. Then you are leading a horse. You can also lead a horse backwards. You can kind of lead them left and right by going, just being the person that's sort of ahead. Driving is different. Driving is where you may be on the ground, or you are on the ground still, but the lead rope is for direction, but that's connected to the halter, but the other end is for driving. So you might swing it around, you might just hit your leg with it, you might hit the ground a little bit, or an object like a barrel or something that makes noise, and that would be driving them. Oh, Zeus is gone. Must have saw a squirrel. He's on squirrel alert today. So that's the difference between leading and driving. When you're doing groundwork and you're trying to get horses to go through stuff, you want to lead them, and then you want to be able to drive them through, because they have to go through alone. I'll do a lot more of that soon when it comes to all the obstacles that we're building. So you'll see a big difference. I've done a pile of it in groundwork. Any of the groundwork videos you see that I'm driving them around. And you give direction with your halter hand, the halter side hand, whether it's this hand, and you drive with this one. So go check those out. I've had this question come up a few times, because every time I show something new here, I put Luke in. Luke invariably just get things right. He rarely sort of fails any of the things that I put him to. The biggest problem that Luke has, that I have with him, is if I go to a clinic with him and he sees a pile of other horses, all he wants to do is go meet everybody, or go talk to them, or go figure out his position in the herd, or whatever the heck he's thinking. And so he tends to kind of be unsettled and nervous or agitated. I don't know, he won't stop moving his feet. So that's fine. I just work that through with him. I just keep directing his feet. And there'll be times when he'll be pretty irritated with me. So everybody out there that kind of, if you take your horses out and you're thinking, man, I just can't get my horse, I don't want to take him out because I can't get him to settle. Luke may look amazing here in a nice quiet atmosphere and doing all the tricks and things that I ask him to do. But he does have that one sort of Achilles heel that I can't seem to completely get out of him. His history, somebody want to know his history. I'll do a full thing on Luke, but just a little bit is, I've owned Luke since he was about 2 or so. He's a rescue. So he was a $500 horse, essentially. And I've never looked back. He's amazing. I've taught him piles of stuff. He's been through piles of stuff. He's struggled through lots of things. I've got, I think my first tutorial video ever of how to do stuff with horses, I think was with Luke, and we went through a sprinkler. So I might link to that below, but I was actually thinking of recreating it because I've got some new ideas. But anyways, Luke's great. So yeah, he's what, I think 7 now? We think. I mean, he doesn't have any papers. So Luke's story is very basic. He just, I just kind of came across him at a local rescue place, and bought him for $500 and I never looked back. It's a great horse, wonderful. So, okay, yes, somebody says, Luke, you're the guinea pig. He's always the guinea pig, always. The bridge thing was great. You guys all got, I mean, most of you got it spot on. Everything else was just really close. I mean, it's pretty easy, I guess. I mean, you can't get that wrong, I guess. It's pretty obvious. It's long and big, and so I can't wait to use it. I'm going to show you guys soon. The bridge is going well for, I haven't tried macaroni. but Lena and Luke and Gracie got across just fine. I expect Macaroni will make it. And then we're going to turn it into a teeter-totter, and then we're going to turn it into a higher bridge, and then an offset teeter-totter. So lots of ideas coming. All right. Okay, so next question that came up. I did answer it, but I want to answer it here again, just in case you're paying attention. Is when I do baby Gracie's feet, they're a big deal. They've been left that way. I know I told it in baby Gracie's story, but I also wanted to just cover it real quick because I'm getting questions, because it would be hard to look through all the videos that I put out. I get that. So maybe this one will just be another follow-up. But her feet are like that because she wasn't trimmed regularly at all. My understanding, the story that I was told, was that she wasn't trimmed because she was just too dangerous. It was too scary. People were too worried, and they wanted to have her sedated to be trimmed and maybe shot. And so, because she's a constant digger. And so they're really worried about that. So when I came across her, one of the first things I did when I met her was quickly trim down her heels a little bit and sort of fix a couple of things and get some of the frog that was left there a long time off. And then I knew that I would be months of just getting her back to some normal form of hoof and clean everything up and everything. So the question was, is this caused by neglect? Yeah, it is. Neglect sounds really bad. I think neglect is a word that says somebody didn't care. I think people did care, but there's different levels of care that is available or accessible. And so what one person's standard of care for a horse may not be another person's standard of care for a horse, or the lengths they're willing to go to have that care for the horse. And the other thing about it, which has come up quite often, is not a lot of people are expecting their farrier or trimmer to come out and train their horse or put up with a dangerous horse, which they really shouldn't. But I think I'm one of the few people that actually do that kind of trimming, where if I get out there and the horse is absolutely no good whatsoever, then that's what we work on. We work on picking up the feet. I'll say, I'm here to pick up feet then. And we'll just do a little bit. I was just out not too long ago with a yearling, and the request was just, get her used to picking up her feet and just touching it with the rasp and cleaning out the grooves and stuff like that. And so I think that type of training and that type of work is really, really important, which is why I'm trying to talk to all of you guys about trimming your own horses or doing maintenance trims on your horse's feet, because you can get them really, really used to having a rasp kind of grind away at their toes and heels and stuff like that, and just handling them and holding them sort of tightly and constricted small space. And that's what it comes down to. And baby Gracie was exactly that. She just needed a lot of, well, pick up your foot. I'm only going to do a little bit. And so I just do a little bit, and then just a little bit. And sooner or later, as you saw in the video, as soon as I walk up to her, she picks up her foot. And she's very willing to have her feet sort of worked on. And I believe that it makes her feel better. I think that if she didn't feel any better, if she didn't know in her head, she didn't think, this guy's probably going to make me feel a little bit better, then she might not do that. And she might not be so willing. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I'll end that there, because my computer, oh, there it goes. There's related questions. So hopefully I've covered most of the subjects so far. I'll probably do another one. I'll try to get back to these pretty soon here, but I got to take off. Going on a trail ride pretty quick here. So hope to put that up soon. I'll probably put up in 360. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Anyway, so thanks for watching this far. And yeah, see you guys again really soon.